today, it has never existed in human history. Never. Not one time has there been a time in human history where a person could tweet about a thing and it could be shared by millions of people, and all of a sudden the conversation about this subject changes. So you have a public narrative that's being pushed forth by these propagandists, and then someone comes along and says, actually, this is what's really going on. And then Twitter will fact check it, and then people will chime in. And this is a beautiful thing. I mean, it's really an amazing thing. So with all the bad that comes with social media and all the weird shit that it's doing to kids, it's just not good. But
yeah, the government is now using it for, propaganda purposes as well. And everyone's playing the game now. The government's in it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Twitter files by Li Fang exposed how the government was, pushing propaganda. So it's not only about taking down, but also pushing out.
Yeah.
So, they're in it. And
they're in it not just that way. I guarantee you they're in it the same way Russia's in it, and these Eastern Bloc countries that have troll farms. The idea that the United States is not engaged in something like that seems to me to be pretty ridiculous. I'm sure they are.
Oh, yeah, they are. I mean, it's on record now. And
when you see, like, someone will post something, and then you'll see someone has a very specific response, and then if you take that specific response and Google it, you'll see hundreds of verbatim exact responses from people that look like real people. You go to their site, there's a picture of them smiling. There might even be a picture of them with some fucking AI-generated kids. Mm-hmm. It's really weird when you look at someone's feed. Like I've looked at someone posting something controversial, and then look at someone who has what seems to be like, boy, this is a suspicious take. And then I'll go to their page, and it's all suspicious takes. Like that is, and occasionally the retweets and the retweets of things that go along with the narrative that they're posting, but it seems like very calculated. And then you realize, like, this person has 30 followers. This is not even a real person.
Yeah, human detection is so key now, because there's going to be armies of bots, AI bots, fully autonomous are coming. They're mostly here, and we just need, they're not going away. I mean, there's going to be mastermind sort of engineers who have these armies that they control, and it's actually entertaining. Like there's going to the AI JRE, that's getting hundreds of thousands of views. I mean, that's like
sure.
They're blowing up. So like that's a whole thing for that person, and there's going to be value and there's going to be negative stuff that comes from it. But I just love being able to watch it play out, and just everyone's at war, mainstream media at war with independent journalists. I mean,
where do you think it goes? Have you ever try to extrapolate? Do you ever try to look at it from where we're standing now with the chat GPT influence, the AI influence, all this different stuff, all the deep fakes? Do you ever wonder how does this play out?
I think that it's similar to what you were saying before, just like the transparency is just increasing so drastic. Even just thinking about how transparent everything is now compared to 20 years ago, and what we're seeing play out real time. I mean, we're seeing Seymour Hersh, who's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, at war with the New York Times over Nord Stream right now. And that's just happening in front of us. Like the US government is denying that we did Nord Stream. Seymour Hersh thinks otherwise. And that is just.
What does the New York Times take on it?
Oh man, if we can bring this up, I don't want to abuse Jamie's powers, but they on Easter, their post of the Nord Stream situation was so egregious. They said it may be best that the truth is not revealed about this. Like it's.
Why?
I mean, because they probably think nuclear warfare is on the table. It would be a false flag. Look at this.
Suspicions multiply as Nord Stream sabotage remains unsolved. Intelligence leaks surrounding the sabotage of the pipelines have provided more questions than answers. It may be in no one's interest to reveal more. What? That's wild. I mean, you literally are in the business of revealing more. I mean, that's what you're supposed to be doing. If the United States government is engaging in something that is potentially dangerous to the human civilization, because we can start a fucking nuclear war because of this, if you don't report on that, that's going to allow more of that shit to take place.
I can't believe those words were printed and they're still there. Like how can that be where we're at? In terms of where it's going, like honestly, I think that we are on the precipice of a whole new paradigm and level of access to information that is just going to be like a total shift in humanity. I think we're getting closer. And I mean that with regards to classified information coming out, corporate secret information coming out. It's happening. Yeah. I mean, it's the Twitter. What we're seeing from the Twitter files, which Elon just did. He became a whistleblower on himself.
Yeah.
And I mean, the amount of information that gave us, and they were denying it for years and gaslighting everybody. It's so egregious and dark.
It's so dark, and they don't have any punishment on the table, which is really crazy. You know, when you saw Vidya like testifying, and she had to kind of admit things that they've said in the past that were not true, it's really fascinating to watch that, because the ramifications of that, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous to limit the truth and deny the truth. And when you're something like a social media network that is basically the town square for the world, and you're doing that, and you're doing that based on your ideology, and you're doing that based on input from intelligence communities,
it's social engineering.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It is their guide. They want to guide us in this particular way.
Yes.
And because they don't think we can handle it,
Right.
which maybe we can't. I don't know. I mean, if the truth about all of the deep corruption came out to the extent that is real, I mean, it could cause wars. It could, but at the same time, I actually don't think that. I think that ultimately, the best thing for, America is for transparency to kind of happen, and for us to